It is the 13th of March 2021. It happens to be a Saturday, and I hope you're having a great weekend out there. Very good afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in to watch UBC Lunchtime News Edition. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha. In our top stories of the day, National Resistance Movement Vice Chairperson for Western Uganda, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, has laughed off plans by National Unity Platform to hold countrywide protests. Now, this comes a few days after residents of Mbale warned Manjia County Member of Parliament John Baptist Nambeshi against rallying area youth behind holding illegal assemblies. Baryomunsi, who is also State Minister for Housing, wants Robert Kyagulanyi to accept defeat and let the country move, describing the planned demonstrations as daydreaming. Watch.
We do not want the RDCs to participate again.
Dissatisfied with the outcome of the January 14th presidential elections, National Unity Platform Party opted to petition court. A few weeks after presenting their position, the case was withdrawn from the Supreme Court of Uganda. Moments later, the party president, Robert Kyagulanyi made this pronouncement.
Our strategy is non-violent and it is lawful.
Attempting to sell the idea to the residents of Mbale in eastern Uganda was Manjia County Member of Parliament, John Baptist Nambeshi. He met this kind of response.
I undertake to resist all the activities of burning the city. You better organize, go and burn where you come from.
We kindly request you not to disturb youths in Mbale city or anywhere else.
They cannot intimidate Nambeshi that I'm meddling in their politics. When they own or enjoy monopoly over the politics of Mbale, when we are all enjoying residence in that Mbale.
Political meddling or not, countrywide demonstrations or otherwise, one fact remains clear, that elections in Uganda are now a thing of the past. This is why Dr. Chris Baryomunsi wants Ugandans to keep away from any protests.
For him to now start inciting Ugandans and mobilize them to demonstrate, I don't think Ugandans are foolish. People have come out of elections. They have overwhelmingly voted Yoweri Museveni as the president. Yes, Kyagulanyi got some votes, but they were not enough. They have been locked down. The businesses are suffering. People are trying to regain their businesses and get back on their feet. And for you to call for demonstrations and riots, first of all, I thank Ugandans. They have not heeded to his call, even those who belong to NUP.
Whereas he expresses a bit of worry in hooligans disturbing peace, he is quick to note that lawbreakers will be dealt with.
You see, when you join politics and elected politics, when you offer yourself for elections, then you should expect two possible outcomes, that you either win or you lose. All of you cannot win for the same position. So the Honorable Kyagulanyi, yes, he gave it a good shot, but he should appreciate and accept that his votes were not enough to have him declared the president of Uganda.
Describing Kyagulanyi's move as an act of daydreaming, Baryomunsi has a word of advice for the president of National Unity Platform.
Let him now do mobilization for strengthening his party in preparation for 2026. Because the public court which he's talking about, the public court gave its verdict on January 14th, when all of us woke up early and cast our votes. The votes were counted and he didn't win, full stop.
In the recently held presidential elections, Robert Kyagulanyi, also known as Bobby Wine, came second after losing to incumbent Yoweri Museveni. Discontented with the results, he sought court redress, but later withdrew the case. Henry Okrut, UBC.
In more news, detectives of the Criminal Investigations Directorate in Kampala are said to have interrogated the Deputy Director of the Internal Security Organization, Major General Taban Idi Amin, over fraud. Now, Taban is alleged to have participated in fraud that saw some American nationals lose $8 million. General Taban, a son to former President Idi Amin, was in October last year appointed ISU Deputy Director by President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
This case has been on for a while, and we've taken some people to court. You must have heard, and I believe you covered this incident, where Ewan Katwes J. Enoch and others were charged to court with the offense of money laundering. Now, during the course of the investigation of the other previous case, we were able to learn that in 2019, some two gentlemen, Americans by origin, had transacted business of gold in West Africa, particularly in Cameroon. They had bought gold worth $5 million, and they left the remaining part with the gold dealers to ship it or take it to their home country in Canada. Indeed, this consignment traveled from Cameroon via Nairobi, Dubai to Canada. But the unfortunate bit of it is that when this consignment reached Canada and was opened by the consignees, they were shocked to find out that the consignment had aluminium bars instead of gold. Of course, it was a shock to them, considering the kind of money they had put in it. And during the course of the shock, a week after, they alleged that they received a phone call from Uganda. The caller identified himself as Idi Taban Amin, and that he identified himself as the head of intelligence services in Uganda. They contend that they Googled and indeed found out that Idi Amin Taban is within the security services of Uganda. Of course, they allege that he told them that their gold that was from Cameroon was intercepted from Uganda, and that the people who were taking it didn't have genuine documents. So he gave them an ultimatum of 2 weeks to come and sort it out and take their gold, or else they will lose it. We have him here. Of course, we are still processing him. We have finished interrogating him. He's recording a statement, and then we shall take a decision on whether we can give him either a police bond, or but if we realize that his release may jeopardize the remaining inquiries, then inevitably we may detain him until Monday, when we hope the matter will be completed.
You're still watching UBC Lunchtime News Edition. Our Lira district has received 6,350 doses of AstraZeneca vaccine meant to frontline health workers in the district. While officiating over the launch of COVID-19 vaccination in Lira, Health Minister Dr. Jane Ruth Echeng disputed claims that she wasn't vaccinated and asked all health workers to receive the jabs in order to protect the people they serve. Details in this report.
COVID-19 vaccination in Lira City officially launched.
Lira has received 6,350 doses of COVID-19 vaccines. The Minister for Health, Dr. Jane Ruth Echeng, received the vaccines at Lira City Hall and disputed claims that she was not vaccinated.
And Jane Echeng,
Echeng also encouraged all the health workers to get the jobs, not only to be exemplary, but also to protect themselves and the people they serve.
The people who fear injections most are the health workers. We know how to give, but we don't want to be given. So when you see us concocting our faces, understand.
She also urged all those who will receive the first dose to get the subsequent doses for better protection.
We had a very big challenge during the time that we were giving the hepatitis vaccine to the entire country. The first dose we got 100% turnout. Second dose dropped to 65%. The others didn't turn up. The third dose dropped to 23%. So is our country protected against hepatitis B? No.
Meanwhile, the district health officer, Lira, Dr. Edmond Acheka, said they have already trained staff to handle the process, and 5 vaccination sites have been identified, including Lira Regional Referral Hospital, Lira University Teaching Hospital, PAG Health Center 4, Ogur Health Center 4, and Amach Health Center 4.
The challenge that we have is transportation of the vaccines to the last mile. We still have challenges here because we don't have fuel that could support us here.
Any person turning up for vaccination is expected to present an identity card, driving license, or any other authentic identification for easy access of the second dose. Ediolwa for UBC News in Lira City.
Angry residents have stormed Bunoga Health Center 3 following the death of 33-year-old Grace Tindemutuma while in labor. The residents say the deceased arrived safe, but due to neglect, lost her life, while staff at the center say otherwise.
Uganda has added a Grace Tindemutuma to the grim statistic of mothers that die in labor. The 33-year-old lost her life at Bunoga Health Center 3 in Kamwenge district. According to the deceased husband, Silva Binurwa, they arrived safely at the health facility but were told to go get gloves and polythene by the nurse on duty. The husband responded as told, but the nurse on duty was allegedly negligent to the mother, who delivered in the maternity ward compound.
muhoda na bunase yesha kurati kumurwere rwangu na mumwere anambaze kumwereka ya mureba nambuza ngo walete kivera na giravu na gambe bibi abukusha umuntu yanogerera na byebwayo yagamwe n'uwadiyebwayo borekere garuko inare bakuru hareje kandi kuza kwika kunuye kuza kuvuga ko ndi kurete ibyo bintu nashanga umukazi yaje yashumwera heru yatera igwembeho yamure kuzara bamubuza kitanda ebinaresire kumara kumuta kitanda ikigero bakimutaho batangira.
A clinical officer at the facility, Barbara Tomosabe, regrets the loss of life that she blames on uterine atony, which is failure of the uterus to contract, thus incessant bleeding. Barbara Tomosabe also offers counsel to expectant mothers.
We are so sorry for what happened. It wasn't our intention. It is really bad, to give a bad image to the facility. We really regret for what happened. And the message I'm giving to the community, especially to mothers, every time they come for antenatal, they should always listen to the messages they are given by the midwife. Because we teach them a lot how to prepare for pregnancy, not deliver from home, such a thing. They should always listen and take action. Because this is a mother who was advised to go to hospital, but she did not take it serious. So what happened was really bad, and we really regret.
But members of the public fault health workers at this facility for not only this fatality, but also others that have been reported.
hariko abasurukare ibo bararara Bunoga no mu mungu kandi wayikahigwariro tuboshanga ho muntu kandi ubwo baratugira ngo wayikahigwariro iwe nko muntu buntu toshemerere kuboroza kwiguza nasi ngafande orarinda higwariro ngo washemerere kuza kwiguza nasi mbwe no bo yigwariro rya Bunoga wayikaho hariho omuntu owoshangaho
abagwere twije kare turere turi kubi konka abashabuza kutandika gukora bakore kicerereze hati bumwe baza kuyikaha mugwere yaba yijira ariko babe yanogire kandi ye yije ari kubi akajya ati kanze kuba mpumurire nkaha kitanda bamushango bamubuze ngo uwa kutaha kitanda no.
The deceased Grace Tindimutuma left behind the newly born baby.
Quite a very disturbing story. May the Lord strengthen the family of the deceased. In more stories, Kawempe Referral Hospital has received a donation of hospital equipment worth 144 million shillings from Stanbic Bank in partnership with ATC. This is aimed at reducing the high number of maternal and child deaths that the hospital records. According to the annual health sector performance report, 2019 and 2020, Kawempe Referral Hospital records the highest number of maternal deaths out of all the country's hospitals. Amuge reports.
Even with the significant changes made towards maternal health care in Uganda, the numbers of maternal deaths are still devastating. In the recent years, Kawempe Referral Hospital has been grappling with high patient numbers and mortality deaths as it delivers over 100 babies per day and oversees about 1,000 mothers weekly.
Medicines and supplies. If the numbers over where we are budgeting for, say, 200 patients, but at the time we have over 300, what happens? It means the consumption of these medicines and supplies is much faster. Before you have lasted 2 weeks.
Kawempe also Referral Hospital. It constitutes a big number of mothers that die in the country and even children, because all the difficult cases are referred here, so some, by the time they come here, it's late and they die. So, by identifying Kawempe Hospital, you're actually picking the cream of the service for maternal and child health.
With this challenge, Stanbic Bank, in partnership with ATC Uganda and other stakeholders, under the campaign Every Mother Counts, have donated hospital equipment worth 144 million shillings to not only help in reducing child deaths, but in also improving service delivery.
So part of the program we're doing is how do we work with the healthcare workers here and improve their welfare and improve their working conditions and really lift them up. Because if we don't motivate these people, if we don't stand with them and support them and raise them and praise that the praise that they truly deserve, not only are we treating them and shortchanging them, but we are also, it's not a good outcome. The better they are, the better the outcomes that come out of that.
While addressing the hospital administration, Dr. Diana Twine, the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Health, appealed for the maternal services to be offered at a free cost.
I would be so happy, Dr. Katsini, that when mothers come here, they are not charged. We have freely been given. We must freely give. We must freely give. We must freely give. Because I'm telling you, by the time a woman comes here, she knows there is Nakasero, she knows there is IHK, she knows there is Kampala International. She knows. But she comes here, why? Because she doesn't have money.
1 out of 49 women in Uganda die of maternal complications related to childbirth or pregnancy. Charlotte Ambuge and Robin Yoso for UBC News.
Well, it's going to be a different story for Kawempe. Now we'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back with more news in business.
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we are not going to leave anything on our plates, because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
Stay connected to the largest 4G network in Uganda, anytime, anywhere, using the Airtel 4G Pocket MiFi, available at only 123,000 Uganda shillings. This comes with 15 GB free, valid for a month. You can connect up to 10 users at a go and still enjoy a shared yet unmatched internet experience. Dial *175*9# to activate free 15 GB. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to get one today. Airtel Commission.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
This March, in commemoration of the Uganda Water and Environment Week 2021, we deliberate on the value of water and environment resources in transforming our economy and livelihoods through a 371-kilometer walk. From Kampala through Mpigi, Mityana, Mubende, Chegegwa, Chenjojo, Fort Portal, to the riverbanks of River Nyamwamba in Kasese, we walk for water. We walk for the environment. We walk for climate change. We walk for public health. We walk for socio-economic transformation. The Uganda Water and Environment Week Walk is proudly sponsored by
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we are not going to leave anything on our plates, because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
Kwatesimu! For the first time in Uganda, you can pay in installments and own a smartphone instantly. Get to own the Samsung A3 Core, Samsung A01, or Samsung A11 and pay back in either daily, weekly, or monthly installments for a period of a year. To check if you're eligible for the offer, dial *284*49# today. You also enjoy free 500 MB on the purchased phone every month for the entire loan repayment period. Ha! Uganda nyuma! Airtel, the smartphone network, in proud partnership with MasterCard, Samsung, and Asante Financial Services.
Well, you're still watching UBC Lunchtime News with me, Sharon. In our business stories, Airtel Uganda has unveiled a communication mast in Chigonga, Mukono district. Airtel customers in Mukono area will now be able to access Airtel services without any inconvenience.
Airtel Uganda's launch of a new communication mast in Mukono is a big telecommunication coverage in the eastern part of Uganda.
Reliable and affordable telecommunication service is a proven economic and social growth driver which brings in digitization and financial inclusion. Without telecommunication services, it is impossible to think that we can have economic, digital, financial inclusion of the last person in the room.
The initiative is also expected to open up job opportunities to the residents of Chigunga, Mukono district, in form of an easy way of doing business, mainly mobile transactions, airtime and internet data.
One of the biggest challenges we have is unemployment in this country. What new opportunities does a mask like this open up? It opens up ability for anybody to become, for example, an Airtel money agent.
Besides communication, residents of Mukono municipality also request Airtel Uganda to also take part in promoting nature so as to create a conducive working environment.
They will be very happy that Airtel, you become our partners in this. We plant trees, we shield them, we water them, we look after them so that we can have an environment that is very, very clean and that will ensure our future.
Other telecommunication networks like MTN Uganda and AfriCell have launched similar services to ensure communication coverage in those particular areas with an aim to strengthen business and livelihood. Wadulo Makanold and Nsamba Juma for UBC News.
The construction works of Mpondo, a one-stop border post and export zone market, have officially commenced. The project construction launched at the Uganda-DRC border by the Trade Minister, Amelia Chambad, and General Katumba Wamala. The Works and Transport Minister is aimed at unleashing Uganda's exports potential by eliminating restrictions in the strategic transaction and logistical services. Watch.
The project, with an 18-month completion timeframe, is funded to a tune of 12.5 billion shillings by the World Bank. When fully operational, the Mpondo one-stop border post and ultra-modern border export zone is expected to increase capacity for commerce and reduce costs faced by the traders, especially small-scale and women traders, at the targeted locations in the borderlands.
Apparently the outcome would be to reduce poverty, to increase export earnings, value addition of our products, so that we don't suffer markets, don't suffer the same fate like we had suffered with our neighbors like maize, but that one has been sorted. Employment, but also
the Democratic Republic of Congo has in the recent years risen to become one of the biggest regional and international trade partners of Uganda, with exports to the country surpassing $580 million in 2020.
That means that it's now going to be one of our biggest trade destinations. And the fact that Ministry of Works has a project of working on the infrastructure in DRC justifies that.
With improved infrastructure and streamlined border clearance processes, the trade volumes are expected to increase exponentially.
But particularly speaking on the small-scale traders, most of our people who are exporting goods to DRC, exports don't attract any tax except a few, and that is hides and skins and fish.
As the market and border post construction works officially commence, the contractor was cautioned against poor work ethic and unnecessary delays.
I wish to urge the contractor and the consultant and technical team from both ministries to ensure that the construction is done to the desired quality within the expected time frame.
Residents at the border town have hailed the project and expressed optimism of an organized and better working environment, which will translate into increased earnings.
The new market will help me a lot. We have been carrying our merchandise from the market every evening, but with the new stores, that will be history. We are also assured of safety. I can see the new developments, and that is the way to go if our border and the country is to prosper.
Facilitating trade in both goods and services requires a holistic approach, targeted investments in infrastructure, policy reforms, and capacity building.
Thanks for watching UBC Lunchtime News. My name is Sharon. Have a lovely afternoon and a great weekend.
Enjoy great value from Airtel with the all-new My Pakalast combo offers. We have customized especially for you the best deals on minutes, data, and SMS with our 3-in-1 My Pakalast combo to give you the best value as you stay in touch with friends and family. To activate My Pakalast voice combo, dial *100 *2 *1# to get started.
Airtel, the smartphone network.